Wonderful. We are here. We're live. I just want to say welcome to Pro No Coders Office Hours episode 278. I am your host, Cameron. I am here with Ben and Tanya today. Before we get started, if this is your first time tuning in, we do this office hours 6 times per week where we invite you on to ask bubble questions, bugs, give us feature requests, so on. We can't promise answers, but we do promise you at least you will not suffer alone. And we do get it right most of the time. So, Ben, you're here. I know that you have some questions. What are we helping you with today?
I want to have a look at, we had a look at it previously, but have another quick look at the iTunes API, if that's okay.
Yeah. Let me pull up the iTunes API documentation. Did not spell that right.
I know it's a really simple one.
Sure. So, yeah, what are we doing for you? What do you want to look up?
What I wanted to do is pull in albums. Or songs or some sort of data type like that. There is look up by iTunes artist ID, but is there a way to look up albums under a name or?
Good question. So what we'd be doing is we'd be looking up a name and then we'd be turning it into an ID and then probably returning them those results. Right. And that is a good question. So let's see. We do have something here. It looks relatively simple, actually. And we'll test this out. You and I are both going to this sort of the first time here. So what this is going to do, this is going to search for all audio and video content, right? Yeah. We probably can put some kind of restriction on it. So this is going to search for just music videos and so on. Yeah. To start, though, yeah, let's go ahead and just take what we have here, go to plugins, name this iTunes.
I'm going to try to follow along here.
Yep. Oh, I don't want to get sued. There we go. Okay. So yeah, just call it iTunes. It's a simple get, no authorization. And we can have it either as data or action, depending on, of course, your use case. And we'll initialize it. And so it does look like it has given us some results. It gives us a total of 50 results. And if I had to guess, that's probably the maximum it's going to return. But the cool part is it looks like it does give us the artist ID as well. So if we then wanted to further refine these searches, we'd be able to do so here.
Are you able to put that URL that you just looked at in the chat? Because when I do it, it just comes up as a count, results count. That's all I'm getting.
Okay. I got to figure out where I put my bar. Here it is. Okay. It's elusive.
Initialize. Yep, getting the same as you now.
Okay, wonderful. And so let's see, is there a way to refine this with, so entity is probably where we're going to want to look. I wonder, do they have a breakdown? So if we wanted to have it to where it was the entity was music, or for a list of available entities, see table 2 to 1. So we are able to refine this to music. So if I was to do they have an and? That's typically how it's set up, but I just want to make sure. Yep, an entity. And we want to do entity where it's just music. So we're able to select, so music artist perhaps. And then we're given 18 results. Where it does look like the primary genre name here is going to be rock for the artist Jack Johnson. And then, so what exactly is it doing here for us? I think it's just searching for people with that name. So, you go on iTunes and you were to type in Jack Johnson, it would give you Jack Johnson probably as the most relevant. And then every other is going to probably be just, well, related. It has those words in the title or something of the sort. Mm-hmm. So you do have the option of adding these parameters here that do refine the search. And we can look here if you wanted to change it to anything else. I mean, if you wanted to search for just ebooks, we would change what we have here to ebook, so on and so forth.
Okay. What if I have the ID number? Would that make it easier?
So if you have the ID number, yeah. So they actually give us an example of taking that ID number. So, oh, Ritesh is joining us. So we're given an AMG artist ID. We're given an iTunes artist ID as well. And so that is returned in our response. And in fact, if we go ahead and reinitialize this call so we get everything here, you can take a look at all the responses. We're given an AMG artist ID as well as an artist ID here. And this is for Big Jack Johnson. Let me go to the person that we're looking for. So for Jack Johnson, AMG artist ID and artist ID. So if we want to search just for this character, and we're looking at this reference here, it looks like, here, let me go ahead and paste this off screen so I don't lose it. Oh, well, I don't need to paste it anywhere. It is the example that we're using actually. So the ID is the same as the one that we just found. We'll reinitialize this call. Now we get one result of Jack Johnson. And then we're given the link URL. So this is going to be a direct link to this individual's album or music. Let's see if we search this. Does this do anything for us?
Nope.
No, I was just wondering. So it doesn't look like that does. So that's how you're going to search. This is what I was looking for. So we would do what we had just done prior. Let's say we want to find their albums. Mm-hmm. We would take where we then add the parameter @entity equals album. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know necessarily your use case for this. However, what I will say is that we have the option of making this dynamic, right? So we can say that
I need to do, yeah.
Yep. And so more than likely what you're going to end up doing here is having multiple calls. So the first call is going to be a search for what we had done, searching like for the artist with the search examples where we're actually searching for the term Jack Johnson. And it's going to be behaving just like iTunes search would. So if we do this, add another call, say keyword search. And then we'll go ahead and initialize this call. What we'd be able to do, depending on, of course, on how your workflows are set up, we would be able to find the artist ID. Artist ID, yep, right up here at the very top. And then we just pass that in as this right here, and we'd make sure that it's not private. And so, yeah, a couple different ways to approach the situation. Either explicitly having it down here, where we're just searching for the user ID, or getting the user ID through the API response and then passing it through here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
awesome.
Does that make sense? Everything's pretty clear?
Yep, that's great.
Cool. Yeah, I like iTunes. You don't have to authorize anything. It makes it easy.
No, yeah, super easy. Well, if you want to ask Ritesh some stuff, I'll have a play around with that and see if I have any other questions on it.
Wonderful. Sure thing. Ritesh, you have made it. Hello, welcome.
Finally, yes.
Yes. What can we help you with today?
Nothing. I just joined.
Oh, I just here to visit.
Yeah.
Well,
Wonderful.
Thanks for coming to say hi.
Hi, yeah.
Okay. Just going over some iTunes iTunes API calls.
And yeah, share my screen then, and we can have a look at getting that information in, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and stop sharing.
Cool. So I've got this repeating group set up. Where's the plugin? So artist, that's correct, isn't it?
Yep. So we'd just be finding the albums for the artist.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
That's right.
And then back in this repeating group, I would.
Are we passing this in as a? And you could typically iTunes artist result, but I'm sorry, action or data?
This is data.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So iTunes artist result.
Okay. And then get data from external API.
That's right. Yeah.
This one.
Yep.
Results.
Then that's it. Yeah. Perfect.
Let's have a look if that worked. Hey.
Before you do that, good load. It's not a problem. Let's just, let's go back and see if it works. Because we're using that ID. We're not changing it at the very moment, at least.
I'm not at this time. No, I will do that, but. I need to be able to click iTunes. Let's have a look. Oh, it would also help if I made this something in that, wouldn't it?
Definitely would help a little bit. And let me see, does it give us? It does give us artwork actually. So we could actually use this response. Each response sells, it is called artwork URL. And then those are dimensions, probably the biggest one. Yeah. And
because this is a group, not an image. That might be why. Let's change that.
we could do changing the parent group thing to the iTunes results.
Yeah. Why is that deleting the whole repeating group when I delete that one thing?
You want to open up the nested tree to see what's going on?
Open up which, sorry?
Yeah, so right click on that group inside the repeating group.
Yeah.
And right click and then reveal an element tree. All the way at the bottom. Yep. Cool. Just seeing what's going on and maybe why it's behaving the way it's behaving. Cool. Let's go ahead and delete that.
So you now deleted the whole repeating group. Oh no, there it is.
It looks like it just collapses. Okay, that makes sense.
Then chuck an image in there. And this would be, this is bringing that in. Current sales results.
Yeah, that should be it.
I hate when you can't process it with image IX. Oh well.
Do they give us a good enough image?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Come on. It's Apple. Okay, proceed here. I'm just going to make this visible on page load for the time being. I'm still not bringing this up. Why is it not bringing the secondary group up? Visible on page load.
Okay. I was wondering if maybe it's set on states or something. It
Uh,
must
we-
be.
It would be here.
Okay.
Hey, look at that.
Snoop Dogg is now Jack Johnson. Yeah. But cool. It does work the way that we want it to. At the very least with bringing in the images. So super, super neat. And pretty powerful. Obviously with like on page load, there's a couple ways that you could pull in this information to conduct the search to then find the artist ID, to then look for the artist ID's albums, including URL parameters, where on the URL you would maybe append the name of this individual and then take that name and search it. But it is powerful and it's going to do what you want at the very least. At least the vision is here, is what I'll say.
Totally. Yeah. So then I guess, Ritesh, sorry, do you have any questions? No.
Ritesh is vibing.
Hello.
Hey.
Yep. So just a small question. Can't we use the reusable element in a repeating group?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
And how do we transfer okay, let me share my screen. Yep. So this is one type of details that I want to show. This is personal details, and this is the language pair details, and they can have multiple languages. So what I thought is I'll create something called each language, and I'll add all the details here, and I'll use it in a repeating group over here. Okay. So what happened was this is of type language pair, search for translation language pair, and all those. That's quite good. But when I add the repeating group here, how do I say which language does that belong to?
So you're trying to make it to where when you select an item in that repeating group, so truly you're selecting an item for the reusable element inside a repeating group. And you're wanting to make sure that when you do select it, that it actually makes a change in the database?
Yes.
Well, let me ask, do you mind previewing your page so I can sort of see the issue sort of like real time?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Because yeah, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes though, when you're working with reusable elements and repeating groups, it can get a bit tricky, but nothing that we can't handle.
Yeah. So let's say this is the case. Okay. I'll just say 2. And rest everything. Let it remain same. So we have to this thing. Let me also put. So now we have 2 of this, and I want to use a reusable element each language. Okay. So ideally, this has the details of a particular language, and this repeating group is search for language pairs.
Yep.
Yeah. So how do I say, because this one over here, it's just language, translation language pair. Data source will be I mean, I'm expecting the data source to come from the repeating group.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And so exactly all the logic is going to be on the reusable element for sure. Now the data source, can you select parent group? Is that a given option?
Which one?
So for the data source of this reusable parent groups thing. Yeah, you'll select the very top, the parent groups thing.
Yeah, but then it will just ask.
Okay. And I think it's now asking what the data is for this reusable element. Isn't that right? So on the page, then you'd select the data being what we're currently searching for, the translation language pair.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my brain goes.
Yeah, but here we can't select anything. Oh, sorry, not here. Here, there is no option of selection.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're doing on the reusable element is what we're saying is when it's looking at something like this reusable element, it's going to be looking at the parent. So the data source that we're passing in of the reuse or of the repeating group, that's the parent. Now, so if we go back to our reusable element,
right,
and we click on, let's click on the gray. Let's click on that the background, the body of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so this is where we'd select the type of content that it's going to be.
Okay.
And so,
okay.
Yep. Perfect. Now, there we go. And so this should work. Fingers crossed. Good night, Tanya. Feel better.
Let's see. Do I have any language pairs here? Okay, so let me log in as one of the admins.
Has this individual, because it looks like 2 have loaded or maybe 3 have loaded?
Yeah, I mean, that's because it's a repeating group. But if you observe, the particular details of that language pair has not come. So we are able to get the number of language pairs here, but the details, for example, here I'm telling from which language to which language.
Okay, gotcha. Let's go back to your reusable element.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the repeating group, because when we click on that reusable element, we're able to give it a data source.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the reusable element, because it had just came up. There we go.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
Now it should work. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. This seems to be okay. Nice.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm reusable elements and repeating groups can get tricky for sure. There's a lot of nested logic there. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Wonderful.
Cool. Thank
glad
you.
we got that for you.
Yeah. Always.
Want to hop back to Ben. Ben, anything else that you want to go over before we ask another question to Ritesh?
Yeah, I'll ask another one if that's okay.
Yeah. Just sort of hopping back and forth.
Yeah, awesome. I'm trying to do a few of them while I've got you.
Oh yeah, no worries.
This album call that looks up this one, so I've just got to search so I can find it. So this looks up look up an album by a TPC, including tracks on that album.
Yeah.
When I put that in here, and I'm assuming this is correct because that's exactly how it has it here.
Yeah.
Interview song. and I go initialize that, it just comes up as a count. Do you know why that is?
It is returning nothing. Now, I think the reason it's returning a count is because it's actually, there's nothing there. Now, you are copied and pasting, though, that number, that UPC, that's from their example page, right?
That is from here.
Okay, do me a favor. So right above that, you have the other UPC one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and copy that number string. Yep, just like that. Yeah, nothing changed, so.
No. What if I use the one that I used in the other one because we know something's there?
I mean, we can, sure, if you'd like. I am confused though, just like you. So iTunes, apple.com, look up, that's the same URL. Do you mind showing me that raw data?
Sure.
So it says, there's nothing. I don't trust it. Okay, let's see what's going on. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take that UPC and I'm going to put it in my iTunes. So it does do the same thing for me where it results in a resounding 0.
Okay.
Now, I do wonder if we're able to change the UPC and get a different result. And so the UPC is going to be, let me see here. So it's a universal product code. So it's a barcode. And what we're doing is we're trying to find one that has it. Okay, let's see. If we go back here, does this have a UPC? It doesn't look like it has a UPC for us, at least when we search for the album or the user. Let's take this dude's album right here. And are we given a UPC? I'm not thinking we're given a UPC. Let's do something else. Let's look up. We're gonna take the Beatles UPC. I don't know which CD this is, but or album rather. God, I'm old. Okay. And CD. Oh goodness, what did I just do? So we looked up the UPC by song. Let's get rid of that. Oh, is this a, yeah, this is music and sound recording. Book and CD. Is there any way? We'll just type an album. We'll click on Unlimited Love, UPC. There is a space after that, so we have to be cognizant. Let's delete that. Huh. Now, one of the reasons that I think that this may be happening is because iTunes depreciated this without telling us. I very much doubt that, but I mean, that's where my brain goes. 3 years ago. No one's answered this, but let's take, so this guy was running into a problem. He got a null response. That's pretty much what we're getting. Yeah, nothing too different. I'm wondering if anybody else is 4 years ago. Let's take a look. This is HTTPS, the way that we want it, iTunes.com. very much doubt that this matters, but what if it is case sensitive? It's not. I'm wondering so it doesn't seem like anybody has actually looked this up, but now 30 people have this question too. So it does seem to be an actual known issue with the iTunes store. It would seem, right? A lot of people have been asking this.
Yeah.
That is weird. Okay, so and it's not like it doesn't work on other platforms. You know, we just visited the one where I had pulled the UPC for the Beatles. They have a dedicated API. Presumably, that's how they query their searches using their own API. Here, I think. I think this is the example. So, that's not what we want exactly. This is Spotify web. This is not iTunes. That's not it either. Well, I'm going to be completely honest. That's very weird. I wonder. So if we go into Postman, though, I'm going to sign up or sign in real quick. Yeah, this is the dude. Desktop agents unavailable. Well, let me go ahead and boot it up real quick. And then actually another thing that we can do, where was it? Attempt to make this call from the browser. No, it doesn't change anything for us. And even with Postman, we're still getting the same result. So I really don't think this is a bubble issue. I don't think this is an API call issue. I think this might be a little deeper than that and extends to iTunes.
Yeah, I think so too.
And as often as we want to have, you know, these big corporations be infallible, they do make mistakes and sometimes don't update their information. So like I said, they very well could have depreciated it, or there's just another issue, another bug. Because, you know, we're not the only people to have experienced this. It would be the weirdest thing ever if this worked. No. Yeah. No, it's not a you thing. I promise that.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, that's good to know.
Huh. Man, yeah, really weird. It seems like people have asked that before. There's no resounding solution, unfortunately. So this UPC though, so you're using it to find the album, like the specific album based on the barcode, right?
Yeah, but I have a feeling that they don't use UPCs anymore. I think they use their own IDs, which is why I don't think it's working.
They do have the AMG album ID.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to try and do is use an iframe with the embed code for an album and then use the code inside that iframe as a variable.
I mean, that's definitely a solution. That's one way to go about it. Yeah.
I think that's going to be the easiest way as well.
So you are able to get the AMG album ID does work.
Yeah.
But weak connection. Oh no. But yeah, UPC very well could have been depreciated on iTunes, and AMG, I mean, not a bad route to go in the event that you can find that AMG album ID.
Yeah.
Now I wonder, is this searching multiple IDs because it's a comma separated list. So no, that's its ID. Okay. Crazy. But yeah, the solution that you're going with, I think that will work. A little, more intricate than just a simple get call, but something that will at least hopefully return some results for you in your app.
Yeah, I'll give that a crack and see how it works.
Very interesting. Good question, though. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
No worries.
I'm going to hop back over to Ritesh. Ritesh, do you have another question for us by any chance?
No, nothing for the moment.
Okay, cool. No worries. Man, we had some internet issues right before I got online. The entire internet just went kaput.
That's
Still feeling the effects. Living in the internet age, you sort of need internet. You sort of need things to work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Pritesh does have a question. Ben, we can hop on another for you before we move to after office hours. Do you have another question that we can help you with?
No, I'm just gonna have a play around with that, I think, and try and get it to work in the iframe.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Today I was working on a project where we actually were using an iframe. And we're taking a bunch of data from this iframe and then sending it to a webhook. And we were running into an issue with actually sending in the current user. Like there was no way to associate the data that we were returning with a user. And I actually found out with the help of another JavaScript developer that you can add a parameter to that iframe. And the parameter that we added was the user's ID. But in doing so, you can then pass in that parameter in the JavaScript and send it into the webhook, and it was the coolest thing ever. Ultimately, what I'm getting at is that you can append and sort of, would you say, dissect and look at parameters that you have on the iframes and then run them into your bubble app. So I think that your approach is definitely going to work for you. Absolutely.
Hopefully, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna have a play around with it and see what I can get, what information will come in.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I'm glad that we were able to answer some of those questions for both you and Ritesh. Always awesome. Thank you for both stopping in. And for anybody watching at home, thanks for, of course, viewing this office hours episode 278. We're going to move into after office hours, where if you have a project that's maybe a little bit more sensitive in nature, you don't want to show it on screen, client sensitive, whatever it may be. If you're on the developer membership, that's your ability to come and join us in after office, or that's tough to say, after office hours. Tough to say fast, at least. But okay, until next time, everybody, enjoy the rest of your night. Take care.
Yeah.